After 2 album delays, leaked music, and the #1 lead single, Drake's 8th studio album For All the Dogs finally dropped, and the expectations were definitely set sky high. At first being anticipated to be full of toxic anthems, the project was instead more of a mix of everything that makes Drake him. While rumored to be some of Drake's best work to date, from quality to compelling storytelling and signature melodic flows, paired with features from Sexyy Red, J. Cole, Yeat, and Lil Yachty, just to name a few, it's easy to see why fans are so hype over this project. So let's go ahead and get into what makes this album so great. Drake really made sure to cover all the areas that we know him for, from slow melodies to club music to that arrogant Drake rapping bag we all know so well. The production was well executed, with production credits going to Yachty, Tizo Touchdown, Benny X, and even Drake himself. And now while it does have a long runtime of 1 hour and 24 minutes, the way that the project was split into groups along with having 2 interludes made it a little easier to digest than albums this long typically are. Calling for You, Fear of Heights, First Person Shooter, I Don't Give a F, and Bahama Promises are some of my favorite tracks. The interludes were also great and honestly well placed, from Screw the World just being a throwback to DJ Screw's If I Ruled the World, and BBL Love wasn't just a great interlude, but in my opinion one of the best songs on the project. Outside of that though, 7969 was a great transition track for the next leg of the album. Now of course it wasn't all great, I do still think the project was a little too bloated, and while I do love Drake and his singing bag, I also think some of the songs like Drew a Picasso and Away From Home were just a little uninspired. 4 months ago would be the start of Drake's album rollout. He would do an interview with one of the fastest growing faces in pop culture, Bobby Altoff. The interview would go viral and lay down the platform for Drake to announce his project on August 21st, dropping a cover art to his project on Instagram, drawn by his son Adonis, and instantly sending fans running to social media to hype the project up even more. After teasing the release date to be September 22nd, Drake would later change his mind, but he would go on to promise fans its release by October 6th. Not wanting to keep the people waiting though, the lead single to the project titled Slime You Out featuring SZA would drop September 15th, but it's not all good news. The album would be surprisingly delayed again, and while we don't know the exact reason for that, Drake in a way would try to make up for it by having a talk segment on Sound 42 Radio at 3 in the morning, revealing another feature being J. Cole on track 6. It's safe to say this album release in a way was all over the place, and while I do think it could have been executed better, it definitely kept fans on their toes. With the first intro on the album going to Tizo Touchdown on Amen, who again lends a placement on another huge project. And of course we couldn't go too long without the iconic duo on the album. And of course I'm talking about Drake and 21 Savage on Calling For You, which by the way, 21 Savage never seems to miss a feature, and that's no different here. Their chemistry always seems to blend, and we all know that from their joint project Her Loss. Following that, we have Daylight with a surprise feature at the end of the song, being a cute and funny outro to the track. His son Adonis made I guess what you could call his debut performance in music. The song would also go to sample that iconic Scarface scene, which honestly at this point in my opinion is overplayed. First Person Shooter featuring J. Cole, who's also coming off another great feature on Lil Yachty's most recent track. Cole will go ahead to clear up any misunderstandings about a YoungBoy diss, and also take the time to show him some love, and hint at the fact he still wants to make a record with a rapper. Now I Don't Give a Fuck featuring Yeat is honestly one of the best tracks on the album to me, building up the track with a sample from Asmuth's The Tunnel, to Yeat coming in hard completely out of the blue, and while I know Drake's mixing seems to sound a little unfinished, I don't think it really took away from the song, and his verse honestly matched the energy perfectly. But songs like Members Only featuring Party Next Door and All the Parties featuring Chief Keef, I think both could have been better. While Drake and P&D both blended together well, I felt like I wanted more, and to be honest, Drake overusing the word gangy made it kinda hard to take the track serious. The same goes for Sosa. I was happy he tried something interesting, but it quickly ended with how short the feature ended up being. It could have definitely been a more impactful song that sadly kinda just went to waste. Gently featuring Bad Bunny was actually a great surprise. Drake came in speaking Spanish that, let's be honest, probably only sounds good to people who can't speak Spanish, but the track was really enjoyable, especially with Bad Bunny over the reggaeton beat. And the same thing goes for Rich Baby Daddy featuring Sexyy Red and SZA. The Sexyy Red feature definitely surprised me, and the hook she had was also fun and carefree. Drake also came in rapping hard, which makes this one of the most fun songs to listen to on the project, and of course SZA did what she does best, and that's provide vocals. Drake's tone switch towards the end of the track would also help us get back grounded for the last feature of the project, Lil Yachty on Another Late Night, who by the way also co-produced the record along with many more. The two blended together well, and Lil Yachty provided another great verse to add to his 2023 run. I think this was easily a top album of the year. Whether it's number 1 or not, I'll leave it up to you guys. But with great production and great hits all throughout the project, it's easy to see why people love it already. And my biggest complaint would honestly just be the length. A handful of songs could have been on an upcoming deluxe or just put to the side in general to really just make this a solid project of straight great tracks. But hey, that's just my opinion. So let me know yours in the comments. I'm gonna end it off here, man. Thank y'all for the love, and I'm out.